Yo, let me tell you about this kid, Gobind Rai, a total game changer, even as a young dude. So one day he gets hooked up with these gold kangans, bracelets that were basically dripping with royal swag. They were heavy, flashy, and screamed, "Look at me!" But here's the thing, Gobind Rai wasn't feeling it. That kind of bling just wasn't his vibe. Still, out of mad respect for his mom and her feelings, he put them on. He wasn't about to hurt her by rejecting the gift. But deep down, he wasn't about to let those kangans define him. One sunny day, Gobind Rai and his crew hit up the banks of the sacred Ganges River. They weren't just hanging around, they were on some next-level imaginative adventure. In their heads, this peaceful riverside turned into a battlefield straight out of a legend. Gobind was the commander, and his squad was deep in strategy mode, taking on imaginary ships and invaders. "How far should our arrows go to smash those ships, Gobind?" one of his homies asked, fired up and ready to go. But there was a snag. No pebbles to mark distances. Gobind Rai, thinking on his feet like a boss, took off one of those gold kangans and chucked it into the river. "That's the marker," he declared. His crew followed his lead, launching arrows with perfect precision, taking down their invisible foes. Victory was theirs. Cue the epic victory dance. Later that evening, back at the palace, Gobind Rai's mom noticed something was off. One of the kangans was missing. "Yo, Gobind," she said, her voice a mix of curiosity and concern. "Where's your kangan at?" Gobind, never one to shy away from the truth, came clean. "I tossed it into the river during our battle, so it was for the mission," he said, keeping it real, but with a little swagger. His mom was shook. "Are you serious? Do you know how valuable that is?" she scolded, laying into him. But Gobind wasn't fazed. With wisdom way beyond his years, he dropped a truth bomb. "Ma, you've taught me that real wealth isn't in stuff like kangans. It's in the Naam, the Lord's name. Didn't Dad always say people trip over gold and jewels, chasing them like they're everything, while ignoring the real treasure?" Mick, drop. The next day, Gobind's uncle, Cripple Chand, rolled up with some of the crew, curious to check out the whole scene. "Show us where you threw it," they said. Gobind, as chill as ever, grabbed his uncle's hand and led him to the riverbank. Without missing a beat, he slipped off his other kangan and tossed it into the water, saying, "Right there." Everyone stood frozen, jaws practically hitting the ground. But before anyone could process what just happened, one of the homies jumped into the river like it was no big deal, determined to retrieve the kangan. What he found, though? Straight up mind-blowing. Dude popped up in this underwater cave that looked like a scene from a fantasy flick. Gemstones glimmered like stars on the walls, diamonds sparkled like mini suns, and massive jewels decorated every surface. It was so dazzling he had to shield his eyes from the bling overload. And right in the middle of this treasure trove, both of Gobind Rai's kangans, chillin' like they owned the place. When the guy came back with the kangans and told the crew what he'd seen, everyone was shook. Some of the other dudes tried to dive in to check it out, but all they found was murky water, some plants, and the river's sly currents trying to pull them under. Whatever magic was there, it was for Gobind Rai's eyes and his alone. The story spread like wildfire. People were blown away, realizing this kid wasn't just anyone. Gobind Rai wasn't about gold or jewels. He was about deeper truths, bigger dreams, and a destiny that couldn't be measured in material wealth. And that's how the legend of Gobind Rai and the Kangans got etched into history. It was just one chapter in the epic journey of a boy destined to become Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th Guru of the Sikhs. A kid with the wisdom of a sage, the courage of a warrior, and the heart of a king, teaching everyone that real treasure lies in the things that truly matter: faith, wisdom, and selfless love. This story? It's not just history. It's a vibe, a lesson, and a reminder that sometimes letting go of the shiny stuff helps you grab onto something way more priceless.